emotionally connected to your plants? As if in the process of caring for them, they as well are caring for you? What about planty DIYs and thrifting for plant items? If I have your attention, then the Plants by Wade Lee podcast is for you. Join me, plant friends, as we dig deep and experience the magic of plants. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 9th episode of the Plants by Wade Lee podcast. I am so excited and honored to have Paige from the Blossom Effect. We are going to chat about so many planty things today, and also about entrepreneurship and what it means to, build your brand on social media, which Paige has done a really, really great job. You are alumni of the prestigious Clark Atlanta University. There are so many amazing alumni from Clark University, like James Weldon Johnson, American author and civil rights activist, also fashion model, close to my heart, Eva. And Paige, you are also alumni. Tell us a little bit about how you got started with plants and the things that you did. I saw that you did a garden at Clark University.
Yeah.
Is that something that you continually do?
So, okay, let me just refer back to your first statement about the notable alum at my alma mater, Clark Atlanta University. I stand on the shoulders of giants, so I'm so proud to call that my alma mater. And looking back at those years, I'm like, wow, what a time. So I went to Clark Atlanta University. I majored in mass media arts. As you could tell, I like to be in front of the camera, so it just made sense. And so while I was on campus, we have this thing called the Royal Court. And the Royal Court is made up of women that want to rep their class. And you are spearheading, putting on events that bring your community together. And so I ran for Miss Sophomore. And I was like, you know what? Let's do it. My grandmother had passed prior to me coming on campus, and she is like a very, very pivotal figure in my movement. And so while I was on campus, somebody looked at me when I was running and they said, Paige, you really blossomed. And I said, you might have just said something. And so I ran with it. And so that was my platform, Blossom Effect. And so I campaigned on Blossom Effect, and I had people plant seeds in a garden. I literally set up a garden and I was like, come plant a seed. And it was physical, but it was also, it had a meaning behind it too. Like, as a dream too. And so after a while, Blossom Effect really stuck. And people would start saying, Blossom Gang, Blossom Gang, Blossom Gang. And I'm like, what are y'all talking about? Like, what is this? Like, what are you talking about? They're like, we're a part of Blossom Gang. And I'm like, okay, like, people really resonate with this. Like, let me take this and actually move with it. And so it became a very important part of my campaign was building a garden on campus, somewhere that people could sit and call a sanctuary and feel at home in. Because there was nothing like that on campus at that time.
Right.
All we had was like this plot of land that just had weeds. And I said, you're mine. And so I set it up and I was like, listen, I want to turn this into a garden, and I want to dedicate the bench placed on the garden to students that had passed during my matriculation. And so the garden is a piece of memorabilia for myself and my matriculation at Clark Atlanta University, but also in honor of those students that didn't make it to the finish line and get to cross that stage. So in all,
so beautiful.
Yeah, the garden it means so much to me. It's still there to this day. So if you ever,
that's awesome. Do you ever go and hang out in the garden?
Absolutely. I was just there not too long ago. On behalf of my job, the Creative Collective, we had CultureCon on campus, and I stopped over there. I sat on the bench, and I was just like, wow, I feel at home.
Yeah, I created this, and it's so awesome. Like that every year they can see those seeds blossom and grow. And I was thinking about Blossom Effect too and what that meant. And I'm so glad that you shared that before me even asking, because I, lived in New York, and you go to parks and you see all these beautiful flowers, and the blossom effect. And I was like, that's also a blossom effect. Like, how many thousands of people walk past these blooms and the effect that those blooms have on you. It's just, it's such an amazing part of the community. I love that. With that, Paige, what are 3 words that would describe you?
Ooh, okay. The whole book. One, I would say spunky. I'm like a spunky girly. Queer.
Queer,
Um,
love queer.
and I would like to say that I'm funny. Ask anybody else, they're gonna be like, "No, you're not funny, girl." But I think I'm pretty laughable.
Yeah.
So,
One thing that resonates with me in watching you, and it's been so inspirational as a queer person too, you own your sexiness. And I've seen that for like, going through even 4 or 5 years of YouTube videos. Like, you really own that. Where did you find that confidence and that ability to be like, yes, I'm queer. Yes, I'm a Black woman. Yes, I'm sexy.
yeah.
I love that. It's
So like I said, my grandmother was a very big part of the conception of Blossom Effect. Yeah, so my mother and grandmother raised me to always be myself. And if that meant I feel sexy right now, then I own that. I feel that. I feel
yeah,
good right now. I own that and I feel that. And they championed me, in doing so. And so when I was on campus and I really brought Blossom Effect in and I was really like trying to figure out what it meant to me, how to feel about it, there was a bit of awkwardness that I felt because I'm like, I'm a class queen, it's more conservative, but I am an advocate for femininity and I am an advocate for sexual wellness and education and like what that looks like. And I was like, why not just be it all? So I
yeah,
did. And I pride myself on being the sexiest botanist. I pride myself in others feeling like the sexiest botanist that they can possibly feel like because it all goes hand in hand. Like
right,
you want to show up as your most authentic self. If you feel sexy, then feel
yeah.
sexy.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because I was raised the opposite.
Hmm.
Like, do not show your queerness. Do not show your uniqueness, your
Yes.
colors.
Mhm.
Hide them.
Yeah.
The church don't want to see that. Like, people don't want to see that. And I'm married to someone as like your grandmother and your mother did the same for my husband Malcolm. Like,
Yeah.
his family celebrates his sexiness, and he'll wear little booty shorts like when we go. And I'm like, what are you? And he's like, my family loves it and celebrates it, and
How
it's
cute.
yes, and it's teaching me too to not, fall back into those old beliefs and misconceptions about sexuality and our queerness. Like,
Yep.
and he's mentioned something the other day about prom, and it just kind of hit me, and I'm like, you're right. Like, we didn't really get to experience that. Like, I never got to bring another queer person with me to
Yeah.
prom and experience those things. And it's so awesome to see you shine. And I just want to say that you're an inspiration to me as well to just own my bare sexiness and,
Do
at
it.
any weight, no matter what, at any age as well. I'm much
Listen, when
older than you.
I saw you, I
Much
said,
older than you.
listen, I said that's a sexy man right there.
Ah, thanks,
Oh,
babe.
that's a sexy
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I think it's so important for young queer people to
man.
look up to you and see that you shine bright and you can be, anyone you want to be. You don't have to fall into these stereotypes and labels of what society wants to say. Oh, you're a lesbian, you need to be this and you're this and that, and no, I can be sexy and I can be feminine and I can be masculine. I can be all of these things. I love it. I love it so much. And
When I do think back about my college experience, I realized that there weren't a lot of queer resources available to me. I went to an HBCU, historically Black university, and we're a Methodist institution. And so
right.
traditionally, that's not, the thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we had to forge our own community of queer folks. And so I'm disappointed to hear that, universities and
Yeah.
colleges that have mandated these organizations are now taking it back. We need that.
Yeah.
We need community. We need family. We need made family. Like we need those things. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
horrible.
it's horrible. It's horrible. I have someone reach out to me from 2020. Your past self
Ooh.
has a couple questions.
Oh Lord. Let me give her
How
another.
many how many countries have you traveled since 2020?
Ooh, since 2020.
Yes.
I don't think any actually.
Okay. What about did you settle down with a partner?
Oh my God, yes, girl. You have a partner. And she's the cutest little thing ever.
I,
She's great.
what does she think about all of these crazy plants in your house?
You know what? When we first started dating, she walked into my apartment and she said, "Whoa." That's like literally all she said. Whoa. And I said, "Yeah, you like it? You like it?" And since then, she's kind of been like just like such a great support about my plant ownership. She's learned about plants. Like we can go to the store and she's like, "You already have this type of allocation." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, you're right." Like
Yeah, I love
you do
that.
know. So yeah, she's super supportive, and I think she's even invested in it. Like she loves allocations. That's why she always brings up allocations. And then she has those plants that she doesn't like the calatheas and all the other, marantas. But yeah, she's great, and she's a great support. I love that she eggs on my passion and really pours into it just as much as I do.
I love it. I love a good plant partner.
Yes.
Um, did your positive verbal manifestations work for you?
Oh, girl, more than you could ever understand. Oh my God, I think about it all the time. Like, you ever just have a moment where you're sitting there and you're like, whoa, this is really my life. Like, this is
Yeah,
really my life. And it kind of exceeded expectations. And I'm so grateful. Like, I think when you're manifesting, right, you're always manifesting something good, right? But I don't think that at the